Hello, viewers. I don't know about you, but I've had it with their tyranny. You may notice I cut my hair. I cut my own hair, and I feel bad for all the people who can't do that, or they don't. I mean, well, it's only because I cut my hair really short, so it's just easier to just buzz it. I buzz and just give myself a. I could never imagine not being able to cut my hair, especially in the summer when it gets hot. We're here to talk about the tyranny, which has to come to an end now. All right. Here we are, going into June. It's getting hot out, and yet we are still under these draconian restrictions. We're one of the few states in the entire country that remain under these draconian restrictions, mainly New York and New Jersey. We still can't eat in a They said, oh, outdoor dining will be in phase 2. What about the diners? They don't have room for outdoor dining. What about people who can't sit outside in the heat? People like me who can't deal with the heat. What are they supposed to do? Yesterday I didn't even go out. It was so hot. I wound up having to cook at home. And even with the air conditioner going, it got kind of warm in here. I got a headache from it. Me and the heat do not mix at all. And if it wasn't for that sea breeze today when I went to the South Shore, I would have had to sit inside and risk having the police called on me for simply needing to sit in air conditioning. Is this what it's become of our lives here? I've had it with the tyranny. I've had it with the tyranny. It's time that I don't understand. I'm glad that these protests are going on. They're very well organized. I was there in Belmore today, and I have a video for you, which I'll upload later. But why aren't we organizing to reopen? If people can reorganize to protest, why can't we reopen? If people are gathering in large groups, protesting in the streets, there's no reason why people can't go into the mall. There's no reason why people can't go into a restaurant. There's no reason why people can't go back to work. What the hell, Governor Cuomo? And by the way, Governor Cuomo has lost my support completely. I know somebody said, oh, I knew you would do that. Well, if Governor Cuomo just simply opened things up, I wouldn't be feeling the way I am. But he's just moving too slow. And Phil Murphy is just as bad. He's not opening the malls. Cuomo isn't opening the malls. At least Governor Lamont in Connecticut was decent enough to open the malls. Connecticut is making more progress than we are. I mean, we are one of the few states in this country, I think New York, New Jersey, California, and Michigan, that are just continuing to go with this draconian restrictions. And why aren't people organizing? Why aren't people organizing and taking to the streets? I don't know exactly where the governor lives, but people need to go, show up in the thousands like I saw it in Belmore and in Merrick today, and protest this. The same thing for New Jersey. Not just that, we need to just defy this. I'm already seeing the governor's like, oh, we're going to allow outdoor dining June 8th. I'm telling you this, I'm seeing a lot of restaurants now having outdoor dining tables outside. So, Governor, it's enough. Nobody cares anymore. All right? Nobody wants to hear you speak every day for hours on end. People want to get back to their lives. This has gone on for long enough. And now it's getting hot out, and people are getting restless. And we're going to have a lot of political instability in this state. A lot more instability I'm concerned about. With people out of work, kids not in school, people can't go into the malls, they can't cool off, and people get hot, they get angry. And I'm scared about more unrest occurring. And it's on you, Governor Cuomo. And Phil Murphy, I think I heard there was a lot of unrest in Trenton. That's on you too. Because, again, and they're not out there marching with the protesters. They're not out there marching. If you really believed in the injustice and the inequality going on in this state, Mr. Cuomo, you would be there with the protesters. You aren't, which speaks volumes. Same thing for you, Phil Murphy. They're sitting in their little protected little castles. They don't want to get out there with the people and take a stand with the people, which shows that they don't care about the people. I don't want to get too off track. I know I'm talking about the protests. But we've got to reopen. And I don't understand why the businesses just can't say, we're going to reopen. Screw you, Governor Cuomo. We're going to have our own coalition of businesses, thousands of businesses taking a stand and opening up despite what Governor Cuomo has to say and defying his bullshit executive orders. Why can't we do it? Why can't we get together and take back our lives from this tyranny? We have to do it now. This has gone on for too long. We've stabilized. Things are very stable. We've had record low amount of cases. Yes, there may be some slight uptick in cases. There will be. But it'll be able to be managed. The shutdown was supposed to be temporary, yet Governor Cuomo and Phil Murphy refused to relinquish their power. This is tyranny, and we cannot stand for it as Americans. We see the power of protest going on right now. But we need to not just protest the discrimination and the mistreatment of people of color by the police and levels of government. We need to be out there protesting what's happening with this abuse of power by our governor. And the best way we can do that is defying his orders. I'm sure you've all heard of Mahatma Gandhi. I'm sure you've heard of Gandhi. He believed in civil disobedience. And when it comes to you, Mr. Governor Cuomo, once it gets hot out and I don't have a cool place, I will be disobeying your order. I will be disobeying your order. I will sit inside because the alternative is going outside and having heat stroke. How would you like that, Governor? How do you like people having heat stroke because they can't get inside an air-conditioned building? How do you like that, Governor? That's what's going to happen eventually. We've been very lucky. The weather has been working with us. We had a couple of hot days, and right now it looks like the cool continues. But if things don't open when the first heat wave comes, there is going to be massive civil disobedience, and I will be right there. Civil disobedience. If you own a mall, if you own a store, open up your doors. It is time for massive civil disobedience against this governor. Once and for all. This has gone on for too long. And I'm not flying no Trump flag over this. It's like all these protesters, like the reopening protests we had, they were a joke because they're all flying the Trump flag. Trump hasn't done diddly squat to help us. And he hasn't intervened at all to help us. All he does is run his mouth. Let me tell you something about Donald Trump. I'm sure you've all seen The Wizard of Oz. You know, this big monstrous guy talking and this little guy actually feeding. Well, that's what's happening with Trump. He's this big monster, but the guy manipulating the president is actually Jared Kushner. That slime bag, Jared Kushner. All right? And Jared Kushner is the reason why Donald Trump hasn't done a damn thing he promised he was going to do. Because Jared Kushner is married to his daughter, and Donald Trump is being controlled by his daughter and Jared Kushner. And that's why Donald Trump isn't doing a damn thing to help us right now. All right? He didn't do a damn thing to stop the virus from coming here, which would have helped. You know what I mean? You look at all the other countries getting back their lives already. And we had the highest death toll of all the world from this virus. We had such disorganization. We were so unprepared. The PPEs, the banks, the PPP loans, the banks ate them up. Nobody did anything about it. It was a big joke. And businesses are closing. And Trump didn't do enough to stop it. And Trump won't run his mouth about the protests. He'll run his mouth about all these, Trump, you should be out there marching with them too. You should be addressing the nation. You didn't do a damn thing. Once again. Who did speak? Joe Biden spoke. Barack Obama spoke. But Trump didn't do a damn thing. Instead of hiding in his bunker like a freaking coward. I'm allowed to dislike Trump, and I'm allowed to dislike Cuomo. I can't stand most of these politicians. I've had it with all of them. This is why we're seeing the unrest we're seeing, because people are tired of the government and its corruption. Donald Trump is a disgrace to the White House. I don't want him to win again. And I wish Joe Biden would come out and denounce the tyranny going on in New York right now. I really wish he would. Because we cannot have 4 more years of Donald Jackass Trump. And I know some of my viewers support him, and I respect that you do. I cannot support him because he should have helped us. He has not helped us get out of this. He's letting Cuomo and Murphy do whatever they please. And when it came to the violence, did Trump step in? He ran his mouth about sending the military in, but did he actually do anything? No, because Trump just runs his mouth. He's a man of many foul words and very little action. You know, he'll run his mouth on Twitter, make disgusting comments on Twitter. He's got a Twitter addiction, of course. But we remain in this shutdown. The malls are closed, people are out of work, and the malls are still going to be closed, even in phase 2. No, we need everything to reopen. The only things that we need to keep doing to stop the spread of this virus are wearing a mask when we're in a crowded place, when we have to be within 6 feet of other people, and social distancing. All right, staying more than 6 feet apart when we can. Those are the 2 things we do, and cleaning. But everything needs to reopen. This has gone on for way, way too long. And people need to get together and start massive civil disobedience against these executive orders. I am very close to doing just that. Once it gets hot, and once there's a hot day, and I can't sit inside, I will be sitting inside. And I really hope that the people at where I go understand that I am taking a stand against this governor, and they need to stand with me and not with the governor. All right? We need to take a stand against this tyranny once and for all. Governor Cuomo, you are on notice. We have had it with your bullshit executive orders. We have had it with this tyranny. And people are opening up. I'm seeing people sitting outside restaurants. Maybe they're going to start sitting inside restaurants. And you know what? There ain't a damn thing you're going to be able to do about it. Once we all start defying it, there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. Our executive orders are just paper. That's all they are, is paper, and they are worthless. We got to take a stand against them once and for all. This is the United States of America. It's too bad our president runs his mouth without actually doing anything. Because if I was a president right now, I would give you, Governor Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo, and Phil Murphy, and any other governor out there in Shutdown, 7 days to announce a nearly full reopening plan, or I will send the military in and remove you from power. Because you are inciting instability in this country. That's right, Governor Cuomo. You're the one inciting it because you're keeping people shut down and people are going crazy. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get a lot worse. I don't want to see violence in this country. We've seen too much violence in this country right now. And it's because of you. It's because of you, Cuomo. It's because of you, Murphy. And it's because of you, Trump, as well. And any other politician out there who just wants to run his mouth and not stand with the people. Because none of you stand with the people right now. If you did, you'd be there with the protesters. Instead, you're not. You're hiding. You're not taking a stand. You're hiding behind your security in your house. You're not going out there with the people. The President of the United States is a disgrace. Has he gone and toured any of the areas that have been devastated by the riots, like in Minnesota? Has the President even gone to Minnesota and Minneapolis? Has he even gone to the city of Minneapolis? No. This president is the worst president this country has ever seen. What is with the politicians today? There is such a disconnect between them and the people. It's worse than ever. They just tell us what to do, and they don't care. We've had enough. It's time to take back our lives and take back our country from this tyranny. I mean, and it's on both sides of the aisle. Like I said, I'm trying to blame. I'm not just throwing shade at the Democrats. I'm throwing shade at the Republicans because I'm throwing plenty of shade at our president right now, and I'm also throwing plenty of shade at some of the local elected officials that happen to be Republicans, like Virginia Haynes in Ocean County, for closing the parks and then patrolling the parks and trying to keep people out of the parks, which was the most ridiculous thing ever. Ridiculous. How is people going to a park spreading a virus? You got to give me a break. This is just about controlling people and trying to keep people under your thumb. That is not what the United States of America is about, because we the people control you. You are there to represent us as an elected official. And if you will not represent us, then we will find other people who will. It doesn't matter whether you're Republican or you're Democrat. Most of you don't represent us. All you care about are the elites, the Wall Street, the corporations. That's all you care about. You don't care about the people. You don't really want to put a stop to discrimination and the racism. That's why this protest's going on. Here we are in New York, a state that is controlled. Every level of the state is controlled by the Democrats, and yet we are one of the most segregated states in this whole country. And they haven't done a damn thing to stop it. Remember when there was that whole thing about the housing discrimination that all got brushed under the rug and everybody forgot about it? Remember that? That's still going on. It's still going on. And they haven't done a damn thing to stop it. If the governor really was serious about doing a damn thing to stop it, Laura Curran, Nassau County Executive, if you were serious about doing a damn thing to stop the segregation, the first thing you would do is say, we've got a huge financial crunch coming. So here's an idea. All these school districts, just have a county-wide school district. No more little school districts. This is a way of people being segregated. We have a county-wide school district. All right, how about that? Nobody suggested that. The governor's kind of hinted at it, but he hasn't been, again, running their mouth, no action. They don't want to put their skin on the line to actually take a stand for the people. That's really what it comes down to. I've had it with all these politicians. I've had it with all of them. Very few people I like. Very few people. I don't know what it is. Once they get in there, the power just goes to their head. They lose touch with the people. They don't care. Governor Cuomo's sitting there from his ivory tower telling us what to do while businesses are going bankrupt, while people's lives are in disorder. And Trump likes to point his finger and say, oh, he's like, you're very weak. You're very weak. Trump, you're the weak one. You're the weak one. It's like, Jared Kushner's behind the scenes just pushing his strings. Jared Kushner is a piece of garbage. Absolute piece of garbage. Corporate, elitist. He wants to take away our freedoms. He's for the New World Order. Trump is like saying, I've got to take a stand. No, Jared Kushner's just pushing the strings. If Trump wanted to take a stand against this tyranny, he would have. He's not. Just like when he said, we're going to do something about all the illegal immigration, the violent people coming across the board. He didn't do anything about that. He ran his mouth at that. The previous president, Barack Obama, actually deported a lot more illegals than Trump. Keep that in mind. Trump doesn't care about protecting the country. He didn't protect us from coronavirus. That's for sure. He left us wide open. I mean, even still today, flights are flying in from Europe. People are getting off those flights and they're not being checked. They're not being placed under a 14-day quarantine. That never happened. That's why it got so bad here. So the president cares more about the airlines, about Wall Street, than he does about us. It's the worst president ever. Worst ever. That's why we're seeing all this hell break loose. It's like this whole term of Donald Trump has been a hell of a horror movie for this whole country. How many things have we seen in this country? Since he's become president, how many terrible things have happened? How many more terrible things are going to happen if he gets another 4 more years? Can't allow that to happen. There have been people on the left that have been doing a better job at running their state. I think Lamont is a Democrat, right? And Jay Inslee, the Washington governor, who was kind of draconian, but he's even lifted a lot of the restrictions now. He's a Democrat too. So not all the Democrats support this tyranny. Just like not all the Republicans are against the tyranny. There are a lot of Republicans that support it too. It's on both sides of the aisle. It really is on both sides of the aisle. But you know what? It's up to us to say enough is enough. It is time to open up and defy these executive orders once and for all. It is time to take back our towns, our businesses, our state from this tyranny once and for all. All the people out there going out there and protesting, all you have to do is open up your business and defy these orders. And if you own a business, I am begging you to do exactly that. To defy the orders. If we all do it together, there's no way they can stop us. It doesn't mean I'm urging people to be irresponsible. there are things that we must continue to do to stop the spread of this virus. And that is by wearing the masks when we're in close proximity to another, inside, trying to stay 6 feet apart when we can, and frequent hand washing and cleaning of surfaces. We must continue to do those things, but everything else that we've been put under, we have to start taking our lives back and defying this. There aren't enough police in this state to stop us. All right? So keep that in mind. And when that really hot day comes, I don't know when the day will be, but when that really hot day comes and I can't sit inside, I'm going to sit inside anyway. And if something does happen, you can bet my word I will film the whole thing. Hopefully I don't get arrested just for sitting inside a restaurant, because the alternative is going outside and having heat stroke. Hopefully I don't get arrested for that. But we've seen the brutality of police. Hopefully I don't become a victim of that, just for sitting inside a restaurant having a meal because it's too hot outside. So that's going to be it for this video. If you own a business, I am urging you, if people do come in and you own a restaurant and they sit inside, whether it be fast food or whatever, let them sit inside. Let them sit inside. We need your support. The people need your support against this tyranny. Please join us. We must take a stand, and the time is now. Thank you for watching.